Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I'm Justin, and in this video, I'm going to show you how much I spend on an average month living in Vietnam. Vietnam's becoming much more popular recently, with a lot of people coming and visiting as tourists, and a lot more coming as digital nomad kind of people that want to stay here for a while. And here's a video on how much you should expect to pay living in Vietnam, specifically Ho Chi Minh City. Vietnam is pretty affordable and has a much lower cost of living than a lot of other places you can visit or live. But that's not the only thing that's drawing so many people towards Vietnam. It is a really cool place to live, has a lot of good things going for it, lots of great food, things to do, and nature to see. I live in Ho Chi Minh City as a single man, and I don't party too much, but I do have a little bit of fun when I can. And I'm not too extravagant, but I'm also not living in a shoebox. I think my lifestyle is a good average of what you can expect. My biggest expense will be rent. For this apartment you see here, I pay 15 million Vietnamese dong a month for rent. That is including my power bill, which is 1 million a month. Altogether, that's about $568. 530 of that is rent, while the other $38 is my power bill. Now, this is a little expensive for what you see here, and you can find much more affordable places. Now, the reason this one's so expensive is because I've been living here for, I think, 6 years now, and the rent used to be much lower, but my neighborhood has been just developing and expanding so much with so many new shops and cafes and restaurants. Rent is going up and up and up in my neighborhood. But my contract is coming up soon, actually in January, so I think they'll probably want to increase rent again, so I'm gonna start looking for a new place. And my goal is to pay about 12 or 13 million Vietnamese dong for rent, which is about $470. So I would like to save about $100 on my next move. If you're looking for a place to live and you're just trying to find the cheapest place possible, you can go pretty low, around like 8 or 9 million. That's like $300. But that'll be a single room and a bathroom where maybe you have to share the house, or you share the kitchen area, where that'll be a communal kitchen, and maybe you'll have to kind of walk through the family's living room to get to your room. So you're kind of more like a roommate with your own bathroom. Next up, we have transportation. And the most common way to get around Vietnam is riding a bike, or a little motorbike. And I personally rent my motorbike for 1 million Vietnamese dong a month. A lot of people buy their bikes. I rent just because of the convenience of, if something breaks, I just call up my people. I'm like, hey, this is making a weird sound or whatever. Can you come and fix it? And they'll bring me a new bike, and they'll take that one, and I just go on with my day. So there is a convenience towards renting, but you could buy a bike for 8 million also. As far as gas goes, I fill up my gas tank maybe 4 or 5 times a month, so that's usually 50,000 Vietnamese dong. So we'll say I spend 250,000 dong per month on gas, which is about $10. When I'm not riding my own bike, the easiest way to get around is Grab. And that's just like an Uber. You download the app, and you can usually, take the bike and have somebody come pick you up on a bike. Those rides cost anywhere between like 15, 25, or 30,000 Vietnamese dong, depending on how far you go. I'll take a Grab bike when I have to go a short distance, but when I have to go further, I'm going to take a car. And cars on Grab, around in the daytime, non-peak hours, is going to cost around 60,000 for where I got to go. But on a weekend or late at night after you've been at the bars or something, the Grabs can cost up to like 150,000 Vietnamese dong. And maybe it can be up to like 220 if it's raining. I might spend about 600,000 Vietnamese dong or $25 a month on grabs just because I like to take the cars instead of the bikes. I just think it's safer. My total for transportation costs is 1,850,000 Vietnamese dong or about $70 a month. Data plans in Vietnam are incredibly cheap. You can do a prepaid plan for about 100,000 Vietnamese dong for like 6 or 8 gigs or so. And as long as you like remember to log into the local Wi-Fi at the coffee shop or wherever you're at, that'll probably be most of what you need for the month. I can forget to do that sometimes and scroll on TikTok for too long, wipe out a big chunk of my data plan, and then I'll have to end up getting a new data plan. And so we'll just say 200,000 a month for my data plan. $7.60 for that. Next category is food. Vietnam's full of good food, super cheap food, and you can't throw a rock without hitting someone that'll sell you some food. Typical meal can run $3 to $4. You got little street stalls, you got local shops and cafes and restaurants, you got meals that you can buy at 7-Eleven and Family Mart. Or, well, Family Mart, if you don't know, is like a 7-Eleven. 7-Elevens and Circle K's, Family Marts, GS25s, they have little meals that you can buy with chicken or, meat, vegetables, and rice or something. Those usually cost about $2 a piece. So a typical meal for me, breakfast, I'm going to go to Family Mart. I'm going to buy 3 eggs, a banana, and a Monster Energy drink. 3 eggs are 18,000 dong. The banana is 8,000, and the Monster Energy drink is 27,000 dong. Breakfast costs me 53,000, and that's about $2. Then a typical lunch for me is going to be something like buying 100 grams of chicken from the Family Mart, and then one of those little meals with rice, meat, and some vegetables. That's going to be another 38,000 dong. Throw in another Monster Energy drink or some sodas or something, that's 27,000. And on average, it'll be like 103,000 dong for a little lunch, and I could do the same thing for dinner. Those costs might be a little more than going to a local shop that sells pho or some banh mi or baka or something like that. The only thing you're going to save a bit more money on, if you're interested in cooking yourself, would be the meat. 100 grams of chicken breast at the 7-Eleven is going to cost about 38,000. But for 50,000, you can buy 500 grams of chicken breast and cook that yourself. If you want to go to a nicer restaurant like a taco shop or a burger place, you can expect to pay somewhere around 180,000 to 200 for your main entree, your burrito or your 3 tacos or your burger or whatever. And then drinks will be like, I think it's like maybe 35 to 50 for a drink, like a soda, and then maybe 50 to 70 for a beer. That'll be about 250,000 Vietnamese dong there at a nicer place. I eat out a little bit, not too much, but on average I spend maybe 4 to 4.5 million on food every month, which is about $170. Going out for drinks is going to cost you about, say, 50,000 for a beer, or if you like cocktails, those are going to run you 200,000, maybe more. I personally like drinking cocktails, so I would prefer to drink a couple cocktails a month than drink a whole bunch of beer. So we'll say 2 million Vietnamese dong for alcohol in a month. That's 3 cocktails, 3 times a month. And if you wanted to spread that out to beer, you could drink a much more amount of beer for that same amount. Then we have like just normal miscellaneous stuff like toothpaste. You know, like you don't buy a thing of toothpaste every month, and mouthwash. Mouthwash costs maybe 160,000 for a bottle. Toothpaste can be like uh 50, 60, 70,000 for a tube of toothpaste. You throw in like, I don't know, socks or clothes or whatever you happen to need. I got my gym membership, which is 2 million for 6 months, and that's going to come up uh in actually a couple days now. And then, you got your like protein powders, which that's like protein powder is about 2 million for the jug. And I don't know however much you go through your protein powder. So there's that. So miscellaneous costs, I would say, are 5 million per month. So that puts us at 15 million for rent, 1.85 for transportation, 4.5 million for food, 2 million for drinks, 5 million for miscellaneous stuff, and that brings us up to 28 million Vietnamese dong a month, or an average of $1,100. Now, before you're thinking that you can just move to Vietnam on $1,100 a month, that's not really how it works. That's like how much I spend on average. That's not like counting all kinds of other things. If I want to take a trip to Thailand, that's going to cost me, say 10 million, the flight, couple nights in a hotel, fly back, or any kind of trip I want to take, that would probably cost about 10 million or 400 bucks. If I have to go back to America, that flight alone is going to be $1,000. So your $1,100, that's kind of just me living an established lifestyle. That's not my security deposit for a new apartment, or any other kind of big expenses that might appear. I really think that if you were going to move to Vietnam, you should have at least another $500 a month safely set aside. If my normal spending's budgeted out to $1,100, I'd want $1,600 set aside. So things for travel, or maybe my computer breaks and I need to buy a new computer, or I need to fly somewhere. I need to fly back to America for whatever. I get hurt. I break my finger, break my toe, or whatever. The idea of moving away to a country with a low cost of living, it sounds nice. Well, like I can survive on, $1,000 a month, but you really can't. Like once you're established, it's a little easier to just get by. But, things happen. Your computer breaks, and, you need to, I don't know, maybe you have some sort of problem with the landlord and you don't get your security deposit back. And then just one of the best things about living in Asia is how close you are to everything. Thailand is an hour and a half flight. That way you've flights. You can go to Philippines is right there, Hong Kong, Tokyo. South Korea is a little further away, but there's so many things in the area. You really want money to be able to go do these cool things and not just stay in your apartment and eat, banh mi's from the street stall every day. Hope this video helps you somehow. If it did, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about living and exploring Vietnam, subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, love to hear about those in the comments down below. And I see you in the next video, Justin out.